All right, great Biafrans all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lovers of freedom all over the world. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure you turn on your notification so that you will be notified whenever we drop our spanking news. Now, without wasting much of your time, we could knock this ogbonge informate we will carry on for you. This one, I will give you this information for pidgin English. Yes, so that we go carry our people along because this grammar we don't they speak. E don't too much and the grammar self no they help matter because some people actually have issues understanding some certain things that we say here. Let me tell you the truth. The fact is that so many Biafrans, both those who are educated and those who are not educated, are now keying in into this YouTube information, especially this particular channel. Yes, and now why we go they try as much as possible, especially when we won't give important information to carry everybody along. Now, before I carry the main matter where I carry on for you today, it gets some important information where they happen where we say we go give out to Biafrans. Please, they make sure say they share this video. First of all, Orsu youth have actually apologized to the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. But before I go into one of the reasons or some of the reasons why the Biafran Republic government in exile, Prime Minister Simon Èkpá, spoke extensively on this issue. Be say, it gets some things where our people they do. We be say they vex me. Una never know the importance of the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá until he decides to take away his troop from your particular territory, from your village, from your community. Then you will know that you are at risk on a daily basis. Yes, you are at risk on a daily basis. Quote me anywhere. And the fact is that people have been getting this whole thing wrong. You're hitting against the man who is making sure that your people, they protected from these Fulani headers. 1, terrorist Nigerian army. 2, terrorist Nigerian navy. 3, terrorist Nigerian police. And this their so-called vigilante way then they carry come for our place. Now governors, they control those ones. A vigilantes will be say, you know wetin a Buba go do, so make you no even talk their story. The people of Orsu, then Jones. When I mean Jones, then Jones Woto. Johnson will be say on the norms then supposed collect. But the reality is that we have a Prime Minister Simon Èkpá who considers his people first. And I swear, I'm really impressed the way they take handle these issues now. There was a statement he made, concerning those who are planning to arrest Peter Obi. And don't come out, they want them say, not be to arrest Peter Obi. Wait till una know whether your kukuma know say he's not defending Peter Obi. He no even like Peter Obi, but Peter Obi has that Biafran blood in him. He's a Biafran. That is just the reality. And the truth be say the matter don't enter critical level where be say the whole zoo against Igbo Biafrans currently. We are seeing it. It is playing. They show us they play. Defend your people first. Now within the Prime Minister they do. In they make sure say mo major mo me mara. Defend your people first. Mbayenga Biafra. When Biafra comes, and Amaru they say, "Aku everybody will go along." But defend your people, and that is why he accepted that apology from Orsu people. I don't know whether they understand what they talk. That is why he accepted that apology from Orsu people. It's as simple as that. We have entered a critical level in this whole Biafran struggle. And that level is the level of Kwechiri and defend your people. Defend Godiha. Remember the instruction he gave concerning most of the clergymen, that is the pastors in Biafran land. Defend them first of all before you sell them out or you castigate them. That's so it be for my mouth, and that's so the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá they do am. But meanwhile, we could go straight up to the issue, the matter we stop, where we say we'll carry on for you on this matter. We could continue from where we stop. Enjoy this video. Don't forget to share this particular video this wonderful Saturday afternoon.
Have all the procedures been following? Has this person been dealt with fairly? Whereas some countries who adopt crime control have more emphasis on punishment, take more conservative approach to ensuring that the offender is essentially what's the word, when they held accountable for their actions. And so there's more of a emphasis on, you do the crime, you do the time. It's good. It has its pros and cons. In fact, both models have its pros and cons, and a lot of countries adapt one or the other. But in my opinion, I think our criminal system should combine both, because they're both are necessary. If one commits a heinous crime, it's you don't just walk away from it. But at the same time, we want to give still maintain our citizens, even whether or not they committed crime, they still have dignity as a person. They still have the right to be represented, the right to go through the due process. And we want to give them that opportunity. So the due process, the system will combine both processes, due process model and crime control, to reflect traditional values as well. I think in the way we do things in Igbo land, naturally, both models are playing. Let's give this person opportunity to speak. Let's hear what they have to say. But also, you're not going to get away with, if you've wronged the community, you've wronged society, a wrong has been done in the land. It's not necessarily going to just walk away scot-free. So both are in play. So that is why we want our system to reflect both models. Reflect traditional values that prioritize safeguarding individual rights and freedoms alongside managing criminal conduct to maintain public order in society. So that is my take on the models of criminal justice. With regards to civil justice, the system in Biafra will handle cases presented to the civil court by individuals, by organizations, and at times local or central government entities to facilitate dispute resolution. So these cases could involve conflicts related to business contracts, debts, neighborly disputes, or debt recovery. Similarly, attempts will be made to resolve such disputes through traditional methods, such as engaging Omenala initially, before proceeding through the hierarchical court system. Okay. Looking forward. Okay, so the Ministry of Justice in Biafra will explore enhancing the utilization of AI to establish the most efficient and impartial justice system in Africa. So with ambitions to extend this model globally, this system will serve as a guiding framework for other African nations to adopt. So I believe it is important to lead by example, and we're all in this position we are all in our respective positions doing so. And this nation will be one that will influence and impact other African nations. And I believe that our criminal justice, our justice system at large will be one, will be an exemplary one that will be looked onto, one that can be adopted by other nations. If through the use, when I say utilization of AI, this is what I mean. So by leveraging advanced machine learning algorithms and comprehensive data analysis, we aim to eliminate human error and prejudice from judicial processes. And we've seen where human error and bias and prejudice has really run the nation down in the judicial process. We've seen where bribes are involved. We've seen dishonesty. We've seen, you name it. We've seen it, and we've seen it fail. So that will not be the case for us. And one positive way of many ways in the use of AI as the world evolves is eliminating that prejudice and human error from processes. Then the initiative will encompass a wide range of applications for the use of apps, from predictive policing to automated case management. So I'm in my work environment where we use electronic files only. So moving towards that paperless society, but before society, at least a paperless department, like the Ministry of Justice department can be working towards something like that. It also helps with security as well. It makes things easier in that sense. Anyway, this initiative will encompass a wide range of applications, from predictive policing to automated case management and even virtual courtrooms, ensuring that justice is not only served swiftly, but also fairly. Just on that note of swiftly and fairly, a lot of the delay, a lot of the downsides of some of the court processes or court systems that I've been exposed to in different countries around the world is that there's usually always, a backlog of cases or a delay for whatever reasons, especially coming off the back of COVID. In the country that I'm in, at least now, our system is really behind schedule. But one of the other reasons why that is because of how it's based. It's based on an old system, a very old system that is not quite automated. So if we can automate things, we can electronize things, if that's a word, the system will operate a lot more swiftly and minimize of backlog. The rollout will include extensive training for legal professionals to adapt to these new technologies, as well as rigorous testing phases to guarantee the accuracy and reliability of AI systems. Yes, public transparency will be a cornerstone for this transformation, with regular updates and open forums to address any concerns and gather feedbacks from citizens. So again, at every process and all that we're doing, I think it is important to keep that open dialogue with our communities, with our citizens, keep them involved in the process. We're not just doing this for them, we're doing this with them. I think that is one of the best ways to achieve a successful system, including the people you're actually serving at as much as possible. The ultimate goal is to create a justice system that embodies the principles of fairness, accountability, and integrity. And we look setting a new standard for legal excellence. Yes. By doing so, we hope to foster a more equitable society where every individual has access to impartial and timely justice. This pioneering effort will not only benefit Biafra, but will also inspire neighboring nations to embrace innovative solutions for their own judicial challenges, paving the way for a unified, progressive legal landscape across Africa and, to be honest, across the world. But we'll start from home first. Oh, yeah, so that's it. Yes, that concludes my introductory presentation to the Ministry of Justice. Otherwise, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for taking your time out to be here. And I'm honored to be able to provide you with all this information regarding our Ministry of Justice. There's, more to come in the future, but this is just for now at this introductory level to share with all I have to share with you. So, Biko, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Minister Jane. EU Rep, are you there? Deputy EU Rep, are you there? I want you to say something before we attend to some questions. And also some of the ministers of the cabinet that may intend to say one or two. The microphone will be open to you first before we take a general questions. Obi, over to you, please. EU Deputy Rep.
Thank you, Minister of Information. Good evening, Biafrans, and good evening, PM. Good evening, all the cabinet members. Thank you all for joining this presentation today. It is important what we have done today. Thank you so much, Minister of Justice, Jane. It's really, I'm so proud of you. I thank you so much. You have narrated our justice system and the things that Biafra need to look out to. So, it's just amazing to see how we grow step by step and how we're just becoming a nation before our very own eyes. Thank you so much. It was an amazing presentation. I don't have questions, but I just want to thank you so much and to tell Biafrans that they should be proud because Biafra were a mother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. EU Rep, are you there? You have something to say? Minister Luke Iwunze, Ambassador, you have to say something, please. Unmute yourself.
Thank you, my able Minister of Communication, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, members of Cabinet in the House, Biafrans, a new day has dawned on us. This is a new day. As I'm listening to this presentation, my heart is overwhelmed with joy because we are restoring dignity. We are restoring identity. Can you imagine a Biafra where if you don't lock your door, you will sleep? Can you imagine a Biafra where when you enter a car, you are happy? Can you imagine a Biafra where when you see a policeman or woman, you feel safe? You are not intimidated. Nobody is telling you I can do anything and nobody will ask. It is a new day for us. I am excited. I know that the best of our life is here with us. Thank you, Jen, for you exceeded my expectation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
you, Ambassador Iwunze. Great to have you there. Okay, we go to Sister Ogochi. Over to you. You may start your camera if you want.
I'm okay.
Pastor Rose,
Good
you may
evening,
start
everybody.
if you want.
Good evening,
Good evening.
PM, Information Minister, Cabinet members, Biafrans, Jane. Thank you for a beautiful presentation. I'm very happy how it's been presented. And as you said, this is just the basic, the first presentation. The only area I might like to ask question is regarding, Aligbo, we say Aligbo nwere mmadụ. Aligbo nwere mmadụ ahụ, Aligbo was really Aligbo before the British came and messed it up. And as we know, our Igbo people regard their chiefs, their Eze, their Igwes. And now we're starting a new government.
Yes.
My question on this aspect is, how do you think, with what we know about Igbo people, because Igwe si mmadụ rụrụ ala na obi ya, Igwe will give his own verdict, and then the government will give their own verdict. How do we see the Igwes working very well on a smooth line with the government? Because these are critical things when it comes to Igbos as we know it. So I don't know how that fine line is going to be defined so that there won't be like clashes of power between the traditional rulers and the government.
Yes.
This is just something I think might need more clarification, or maybe later on in your next presentation. But this is the area I kind of have a little bit of concern because of how the traditional rulers are before the British came, because they might want to bring that back, and now we have a government that they have to work with.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your question. And I think that's the key question. That's the key statement there, work with. So I did mention what you're saying is part of what I was mentioning and when referring to Omenala being restored, because you're right. Prior to colonization, we already had a system, to be honest. So it's about working with that and prioritizing tradition, prioritizing, so it's going to be a work in process. How do we incorporate each regions as and each place, like how incorporating that alongside with current, the system, the new system. But it definitely was not, I'm fully aware of it, is what I should say. And that is why I mentioned how our system will work to reintroduce or reincorporate our Igbo traditions, the way we did things, especially where it's working, and how we can continue that. And that will take priority before the Western system. That's how I see it. And it's just a matter of fleshing out how that will run. But it's a great question. Thank you so much for your observation. And it is something that will be expanded on in due time.
Okay, my second question, which is my last question, is you mentioned AI, which, as we know, is artificial intelligence, which is a different entity on its own altogether. And I know it's working. Although the Western world are using it, and it's something even them are struggling to work very well within their system. So how do we plan to use AI in a system that is totally new?
Yeah.
to most of us.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not something that will just malite straight away. It's it will be, that's also why I included it in the looking to the future. In the future, this is something as it gets refined, and it is being refined. There's a lot of positive aspects to AI. There's space for it. There is space for it in our system. It may not be just so, it might even be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. It may not be so immediately, but as it is refined, I think it will be incorporated, just to reduce those errors, biases, bureaucratic red tapes. Yeah, how exactly, that will, again, step by step. But I appreciate that, you are thinking about these things. It's only right to do so. Looking at AI the way it's developing now, yeah, there's lots of different questions, gaps, loopholes, concerns, and that is fair. But looking at the potential it has, to enhance our criminal justice system, and our justice system as a whole, it has a lot of potential. And that's why I placed it in the things to expect for the future kind of category of my presentation. Galu?
Thank you, Nne.
I think the next.
The next person, where is Pastor Rose that we saw here? Pastor Rose, where are you? Your hand was up before.
Yes, I see she's here.
Okay. Unmute yourself, Pastor Rose.
So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, says, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, first of all, introduced our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Èkpá. He called him his spiritual son. He said, let us go and listen, because he's taking us to a new dimension. He prophesied this and people said no. But today is actually a reality. Sir, nna m ọma, ekele, otito, ka every brigi, every Biafra bụ na-abịa gị for this work you have done. A na-asị ka nwa kara nna, you have done great for living and seeing a great work God has used you to produce for Biafra. Ask him, thank you, sir. You and your wife, sir, thank you. My sister, my, I don't know what to say. We are proud of you. Thank you for this opportunity. You want to show that indeed this is a nation. And I'm promising you with my children, with everything, that we are going to follow the law, because we know that this is heaven on earth. This is heaven, the miracle that our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has said. Our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Èkpá, just asked for 100 people, but God has given him the wisdom that supersedes the wisdom of Solomon. And he has used this opportunity to bring us. And what we are seeing now, nobody will doubt it. And I said, thank you for giving yourself to come and serve for Biafra. Thank you, sir, you and your wife. May Chukwu Okike Abiama bless you. Ihe a na-eme wu ihe mmụọ. Onye anyị na-achụrụ aja nwoke mmụọ. And it is those their hands are clean, those their mind will enter the land of Biafra. Thank you. That's what I am, is to say, Ebo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Rose. We go to Director General of Biafran Government Foreign Affairs Ministry, Dr. Joy Irobi, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Minister of Information.
You can start your camera. You can start your camera if you want.
No, it's okay. Camera is not necessary.
All right.
Great Biafrans, good evening all. Minister Jane, I wanted to say really great presentation. It was really, really lovely to hear you explain things that are normally complicated in a very simple way that even us can understand. So thank you for that lovely presentation. So I wanted to ask you, since you mentioned AI, and of course, we are looking forward in the future. What are your thoughts concerning forensic biology, forensic DNA typing? Because recently I saw this Interpol review. Well, recently it's about 2 years ago now. The 20th Interpol International Forensic Science Symposium. They were there talking about rapid DNA testing, how they're going to use law enforcement DNA database plus investigative genetic genealogy DNA database. And I think especially for the genetic genealogy DNA database, we need it in Biafra. So what are your thoughts concerning forensic biology and how we are going to use basically SNP genotyping to really make sure that we know who is who? Because we know there are a lot of mixed blood running around in Biafra land. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your question. It's really a simple answer. Anything that will promote and that will allow for efficiency, that allow for accuracy, that allow for a better system. My thoughts around it is that we will, have it on board. It might take time. Again, it's something as we develop and establish ourselves in the future, something that, it may not just happen straight away, but yes, like you said, if our goal is safety and integrity, transparency, forensic biology testing is sort of promotes all of those values that I mentioned in the presentation. It will help with that. So yes, in short,
okay.
I think it's something definitely to be taken on board. Just have to do it in the right way. Again, with a lot of crosses and checks and balances and things of that nature. But it's very I welcome that idea.
Okay, so definitely let me know when you are interested, because I have a lot of experience in forensic science and I really want to push it through. So let me get me involved in that particular project and we will make sure that Biafra is the best. Thank you. I'm sure your dad will be so pleased. You're really doing a great job. Dalo?
Thank you so much. Yeah, next
Thank
person.
you, Dr. Robi. Is Academic Highness over to you, please? Unmute yourself. Is Academic Highness?
Yeah, good evening, brothers and
Start your camera
sisters.
if you want.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There you
Can you hear me? Yeah, and there was welcome our new Minister of Justice, Honorable Jane. You're welcome, and also I extend the greeting warmly to the Ambassador of Biafra, Dr. Iwunze. Yes, let me go straight to the point. Just as you know, I'm His Academic Highness. You said, because I want to ask you a question, very simple question, based on your insignia, you said building a justice system that is fair, equitable, and accessible to all. And you equally said, Onye biri, ibe biri, in the lingua franca biafranensis. Based on that, I want to ask you the operative system in Biafra. Is it civil system or is it common law system in Biafra? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. No, I didn't actually clarify that. But it will most likely be common law. I will confirm this as we develop, establish it more. Yeah, I'm going to say most likely to be common law, but kainene, do you have any other questions?
His academic highness, did you get the response in tandem with what you asked?
Yeah. That's a very, very brilliant answer. He said we are going to look upon that as soon as we go forward. Another question, Honorable Minister of Justice. I wanted to know if we are going to place the government above the constitution or to put the constitution above the government in Biafra. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Yeah, so let me just quickly go back. Here. So the constitution is at the foundation. And then out from there comes the government, which is executive, and then we have legislative and then judiciary. So constitution will be the founding, will be the founding sort of, well, when you read it or when it's ready and presented to everybody, you sort of, it'll make a lot more sense. But essentially this is it. Constitution will come first. From that flows our three separation of powers: executive, legislative, and judiciary. So I hope that answers your question. But and I'm presenting this based on what I've read so far in terms of the Constitution of the United States of Biafra. Yeah. But I understand it's yet to be made.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Minister. God bless you and bless your office. Thank you, Ambassador.
You so
Thank you, His Academic Highness. We go to Chisom Ude. Chisom Ude, unmute yourself and go with your question.
Thank you very much. First of all, I say great greeting to PM and his cabinet and all protocol duly observed. And Minister, thank you so much for the amazing presentation. My question is, I know I've already heard two persons actually make mention of that, but I still want to a bit kind of emphasize on the need for that a little. I was actually wondering if on the structure, you made mention of it also when you talked about Omenala. And talking about the justice system, would you think it's something your office could consider to also put this Omenala as like the very first step in the justice system? Because I also carried out a research. Yeah, before you go on to all these other courts, the very formal justice system, when you talk about accessibility, you see that this customary system of alternative dispute resolution is very accessible to our people. And it kind of discourages people. It encourages dialogue and discourages a lot of litigation, which you also made mention of. When you have a lot of litigation, that you now have backlog of cases and all that. I mean, somehow it could still happen, but in order to work as much as possible to try to foster unity amongst people and to discourage always going to the courts, to help people to also maintain, because this is that Omenala we are talking about. So I don't know if your office is also would want to give that a kind of priority too, I would say. I mean, formal system is also good. Yeah, but then to also consider if there's a possibility to add this on the structure, because I feel because the research I carried out in Senegal, in a local community, I saw like the potency of this local justice system, the alternative dispute resolution, where people have dialogue, they don't need to go to the court before they even at one point they resolve it. So I'm actually thinking that it could be what your office might consider, That's a suggestion.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, let me just give the second one immediately so you can just take both of them at the same time. And then in the future outlook, your office talked about the justice processes, like the police and all that, the rest of that. And also one of our ministers had made mention of all these forensic systems. And I was also wondering, because this is also the digital age, We also see this kind of cyber security, cyber crimes and everything. So I'm also wondering if your office is kind of thinking of having kind of police, cyber police that could also like help in that aspect. So somehow like it just came to my mind. I felt like, okay, maybe I could make mention of it to know what to think about that. Thank you.
Dalurina, that's perfect. Thank you for your contribution. First question, yes. So I did mention it here, like traditional methods of resolution will take priority. And part of that, not only Omenala, but it's akin to restorative justice approach, which is what you said.
Yeah.
So sitting down, having that discussion, not going straight into the court, the orthodox court system or traditional court system. So doing it in this restorative way first, and then where it's not possible or where it doesn't work, then we have the court process will still remain. But yeah, that's why Omenala, I think the way I'm hoping for it to run is that it will take priority. And then if it doesn't work, then we still have that backup system. But it definitely is, again, we don't want to just funnel people through a system, court system, and then it takes a lot of resources, it takes money, costs money, takes time, it wears people out. I mean, working in the system, you see it day in, day out. It's not very, pretty. So I know, I see your point. I see what you mean. And that's why I've mentioned it here. So to answer that question, essentially, yes, there will be a more accessible restorative approach rather than just boom, let's go to court today. Like that, yeah. And then second question regarding future cybersecurity, yes, that's the way, like if you look at the way, the world is evolving, and it'll be a shame if we sort of missed out or we didn't have covering in that area of cybersecurity, especially seeing how the way things are for us now. I mean, look, for example, we're here meeting on Zoom, so that's just to show how things are heading. But yes, 100% yes, there's space, and there will be measures in place around cybersecurity and that department as well. So again, it's just step by step. But yes,
thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for your question.
Question, Akaji Akunuba. Akaji, unmute yourself. You have the mic.
Good evening, my Prime Minister. Good evening, Honorable Minister of Justice, and good evening, Biafrans. Please, I want us to ask two questions. Number one is there any provision for our constitution to be translated into all our local dialects, where every one of us will understand what our constitution is all about? And two, is there any profession for these fungias who are professionals in coal mining? Because very soon they will be trooping into Biafra land, seeking for asylum. So is there any provision for such kind of people to be allowed in our streets? Because we can't trust them with our scores and our children's scores. Thank you, Minister.
Sorry, I'll get you to repeat that second question. Any provision for who? Sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
Yeah, for all these fungias who are professionals in coal mining and internet fraud.
Right.
Because very soon we'll be trooping in, seeking asylum in Biafra land. And because we don't trust them with our scores and our children's scores. So is there any provision for them not to be allowed into Biafra land? Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Okay. Well, for your first question, one of the things I really
My
wanted.
first question is there any provision
Oh, no,
for
I'm sorry.
constitution to be?
I'm answering it. Yeah, I understood it. Sorry. I'm answering it. So I'm saying one of the things that I really wanted to do really, and as you can see from my slideshows, is that incorporation of Igbo in our